Moving on to the fourth characteristic of shadow. Size and shape of the shadow, it depends on a lot of factors. The first factor that determines the shape of the shadow is shape of the original object. You can see here I have three objects here, a cube, a toy Candyman and a box of Pringles here, which is cylindrical in shape. When I switch on the light, when I switch on the torch, you can see here the shadows are formed. You can see here the shadow of the cube. It is square in shape. That gives you the idea that the object, it is cubical in shape. You can very easily make out the shape of this toy here also. It is shaped like a boy. And here in this box, which is cylindrical, you can see here very easily a rectangular shaped shadow that is formed on the screen. This means that the shape of the object, it determines the shape of the shadow. Now, coming further to the second point, the size and of the shadow, it depends upon the distance between the object and the screen. Okay, so I am having here, this is our screen, this is my object, and this is the source of light. And now look very carefully and observe what happens. Okay, I am having here, you can see the shadow. I am having here the object, and I move the object, okay, near to the source of light. Now as the distance between the object and the screen increases, you can see that the size of the shadow is increasing. But when the distance between the screen and the object is decreasing, you can see that the size of the shadow, it is decreasing. Once again, I am going to perform this activity. When I increase the distance between the object and the screen, you can see that size of the shadow increasing. But when I decrease the distance between the object and the screen, you can very easily see the size of the shadow decreasing. Okay, the same can be seen with the object and the source of light. Now I am going to keep my object stationary and I will increase and decrease the distance of the source of light. Okay, see, now I am having here my source of light. I am going to decrease the distance between the object and the source of light. See, when I decrease the distance, when I bring the source of light nearer to the object, you can see that the size of the shadow is increasing. But as it goes away from the object, you can see that the size of the object shadow is decreasing. Size of the shadow goes on decreasing. Again, I am going to repeat. I am going to decrease the distance. Size of the shadow increases. I am going to increase the distance. Size of the shadow decreases. Okay, I hope this is clear to you. You can perform this activity at home and see the results for yourself. Okay, now the size and shape of the shadow, it also varies with the position and angle of source of light. Okay, I have already shown you the shadow formation of this cylindrical object here. Okay, this box, when the source of light is coming from this direction, you can see a rectangular shadow is formed. Okay, but see what is happening now. When I change the position of source of light with respect to the object, see, I am moving the source of light. Can you see? There is a change in the shape of the shadow. Slowly and slowly you can see that the shadow has now become circular. Can you see the circular shadow here? So, shadows can sometimes be deceptive also. You can see here the shadow is rectangular. But when the angle or position of the source of light it changes, then you can see a circular shadow. Okay. This is a very common phenomena that occurs every day in our life because of the movement of earth, because of the movement of earth, sun rises in the east and sets in the west. And you must have observed that during the morning, early morning and evening hours, your shadows are very very long. But as the sun it comes overhead at noon, your shadow it becomes very very small. You can perform this activity at home by keeping a pencil outside. Okay, you will observe that during the daytime, see here, during the daytime the shadow is very very long. Observe here, this is our screen, this is our source of light. You can see the shadow of the pencil is very very long. Now as the sun it moves, because of its relative motion with the earth, you can see that the size of the shadow is decreasing. And when the sun is overhead, you can barely see it here, because it has become very very small. And as the sun sets, you can see that the shadow has now come to the opposite direction, and it has become very very long also. Okay, I hope it is clear to you. See, I am doing it again. So this means that the position and angle of source of light also plays a very important role in determining the size of the shadow.